So for the first part of this presentation, we have to restate the facts. This is similar to last week's project because the facts are very similar. The biggest difference is that there's a lack of capacity issues that there were in last week's. Um, the age capacity issue, and I'm assuming the mentally incompetent capacity issue, since Johnny now owns his own business, and I feel like his incompetence wouldn't allow him to open his own business if he was still having that issue. Um, so then moving forward, the facts are similar. Is that Bob shows Johnny a used 2005 Mustang, tells Johnny that this car is the finest in the county, and it only has 25,000 miles and one previous owner with no accidents. Bob has a sale price of 4,999 displayed, but he tells Johnny that he's going to sell it to him for 4,500. Johnny accepts this, and he purchases the car for 4,500 on the spot. Bob reminds him that it is an as is, where is situation, with no warranties implied or expressed. So this would prevent Bob from having to deal with warranties if there were any, which there are because of the 25,000 miles that he promised and the never being in an accident. So that protects Bob from having to deal with warranties. Johnny shortly finds out after this that the car is not the way it says it is. It doesn't have 25,000 miles on it. It has more, and it has more than one owner, and it's been in multiple accidents. So the car's value is probably not nearly as high as 4,999. So moving on to the next part of the presentation, part two, we have to talk about offer acceptance and consideration, like we have previously in previous weeks. That being said, there's clearly an offer here. It's left open. There's always some type of amendment or extra condition that you can add into the contract. But the offer is clearly $4,500. Initially, there would be acceptance, but the goods are non-conforming because of the lie that Bob blatantly said, the fraudulent misrepresentation that he went through after there's a reasonable inspection of the vehicle. Second of all, he didn't have time to reasonably expect it when he made the purchase on the spot. So the acceptance cannot be put through right at that point. And so when he brings it back and tells Bob that he wants it back, wants to give it back and wants his money back, then that is reasonable consideration. Not that it really matters all that much because there's clearly not full acceptance here. But the consideration would be that he's offering the title, something of legal value, in exchange for a promise of the $4,500. Okay, so for the third part of our presentation, we have to talk about whether the goods have been sufficiently documented in the contract, and whether or not the title has validly passed from Bob Jones to Johnny Jets. First of all, the goods have been clearly identified, and that is the car. And there's a document stating the mileage is accurate, that Bob has signed, and Bob has given Johnny the document that clears him of warranty, and yeah, basically that's what that document does. That clears Bob of warranty if the goods are non-conforming, which we know they are. So then going into that, the title has clearly not validly passed from Bob to Johnny Jet, because Bob has clearly not told the truth to Johnny, and that he is legally required to, and has signed that he has told Johnny the true mileage of the car, which he did not. So essentially, the validity of the contract is it's invalid because of this. So Johnny can rightfully claim reimbursement and any tax or delivery or any other type of cost that he had to take on in the purchasing of this car. He cannot claim warranty, though, which is the fourth part, and that's because of Bob's use of the as is where is, and that keeps Bob from having to deal with implied or expressed warranties, which he did have an express warranty with the 25,000 miles, and is the owner of the car, whole thing, that whole deal with no accidents and only one previous owner. That was clearly not the truth. Um, so there are really not any warranties that apply to linked sales contract um, because of this. Because that Bob used that as whereas, and it is very conspicuously displayed as it should be in the writing. Um, so that's all I have to really say about this week's project. Um, Thank you, and ready for the paper next week.